Hello, back again to do another unboxing and review. Today we're going to be looking at a gaming keyboard, a mechanical gaming keyboard from the company named Motospeed. This is the CK104. Now, Motospeed, I've never heard of them, and most likely you probably haven't either, since I believe they're primarily overseas in China. But I managed to get this one to me, and we'll see what they have to offer. Now, as far as mechanical keyboards concerned, this will be my first mechanical keyboard, and I've kind of, ran the stretch here of keyboard types up to mechanical. Of course, starting with this, which most of you are familiar with. This is actually a Logitech K120, which is a pretty good keyboard, especially for the price, but it is still a membrane keyboard, much like the one you probably got with your computer. Then I moved up to this keyboard, which I did in fact do a review for. This is the SteelSeries Apex 100. This is also a membrane keyboard, but as you can see, it's a little more fancy, and it introduced their mimic a mechanical keyboard, but it isn't actually a mechanical keyboard. So essentially the springs have tension, so they make it feel like one, but again, it's still a membrane keyboard. So I thought it only appropriate to actually get a true official mechanical keyboard and see if it does have any advantages over the others. Now, I could have gotten, say the Razer mechanical keyboard, and I was looking at it. However, I decided to go with this one because it's around the same price point as the other two I showed you. A tad bit more expensive, but that way I figure I'm taking the cost variable out so we can see if the mechanical keyboard makes a difference on its own. Alright, so now let's go ahead and take a look around the box here. So, this is evidently their logo. I don't know, I'm just going to call it the Cyber Panther, because that's what it looks like to me. Maybe it's a leopard, not sure. Okay, now, they're obviously red, green, blue, so we're going to get all different colors of the rainbow, and a mechanical keyboard. They put that pretty big, and they tell us that there's 9 cool LED lighting effects, so a lot of colors, but there's 9 different effects. Then red, green, blue, of course, and then there's suspense on keycap design. Now, one thing I'll point out as we go around this box, and probably when we go inside and look at the instructions, this did come from China, so although this box is almost primarily in English, which is great. Some of the descriptions you kind of have to interpret a little, but again, for not being the native language, that's pretty darn good, actually. So anyway, keep that in mind as I read out some of these descriptions. So we have suspension keycap design, double injection keycaps, one key quick lock win. I think that locks out windows so you don't jump out of your game by accident. Anyway, and then there's support all keys without conflict. All keys have response. Now, is that anti-ghosting? Perhaps. Okay, and then there you can control the functions like the lighting and whatnot using probably a function key and the arrow keys simultaneously. And then there's, backlight. Now, getting over here, this is the different variations of this keyboard you can get, and you see the one I opted, or the configuration I opted to get was black, and with blue shaft. Now, the shaft, I'm pretty sure, corresponds to the key, the mechanical key switch type. I did get blue switches, so click, 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 click. Evidently, the red shaft was also or red switches were also an option, and of course, white was a color option if you wanted to go with that. All right. So anything else? Okay, here on the bottom, you have 2 QR codes. And you can see here that the internet addresses are Motospeed. We have a .cn and .cc. So again, obviously coming from China, makes sense it would have Chinese internet site addresses. And then here, just a UPC. Made in China, we kind of knew that, and it's silver blue switch. Silver, by the way, corresponds to this color here, which I'm hoping is metal, but we'll see. Alright, so with that, let's go ahead and do the unboxing. Okay, so as far as it being closed, it looks like we just have a fold down flap. There we go. Okay. So this must have been what was sliding around and hitting the corners of the box. I'm glad that that's all it was. Another thing about when they pack items, I really wish they'd secure these manuals, because when you shake the box you hear rattling. It's kind of disconcerting, but again, I don't think I should worry because it's just the manual after all. Okay, and as you see, open it up here, the first page, the first language is in Chinese, so but English is an option further on in the manual. Also some other languages as well. Okay, it looks like this must be a warranty card, but again, as you can see, it's written in its native language. Anyway, moving on. Okay, we do have some padding in the way of these little foam shoes on the ends of it. Okay. Oh, I already pushed some of the buttons, and they are clicky. Okay, so let's look at the wire here, since this was what was... Alright, we do have, obviously, USB, but it does have their logo on it. Again, a little Cyber Cat, and it did come with a cap. Oh, looks like there's some plating on the connection. That's good. We have one of these beads. I think this cuts down interference, so it's supposed to help performance. Alright, and it does have a reusable cable management in the way of one of those little Velcro deals. And the cord is decent length. The cord also feels feels nice, and it's thick, so good. Shouldn't have any problems with that, hopefully. Okay, and let's take out the actual keyboard now. Whoa, okay. Alright, immediate impression is it's quite heavy. So far so good. It does feel like it's it feels substantial, so that's good. Now, is this metal? I think it is. It feels kind of cool to touch. Yeah, okay, so this here is in fact metal going around. Also, we'll notice how there's hardly any frame, meaning basically the keyboard ends where the last key ends. You see, boom, drop off right there. And also here, there's just the smallest of ledges, but basically from this area, it has no frame. So it should take up less space on your desk. What else can we say? Okay. Well, we can look at the sides. Okay, of course, we should push the switches, right? Because, yeah, okay, so they're clicky keys. Actually, the keys feel really nice, and they come back quite quick. So the recovery is quick. So, yep. All right, and actually, let's see if we can actually look at this from the side here. So yeah, they stick out quite a bit, and I suppose we're probably looking at where the lighting effects will come out there. That clearish plastic that you see underneath the actual cap. Alright, and connection. Yeah, feels pretty sturdy. I'm not going to totally yank on it, but yeah, it doesn't deform when I pull this lightly, but sturdy. It doesn't pull out the frame, so it looks like it's pretty well rooted in there. Alright, so far I'm liking it. And I actually really like this compact design without the frame. It just, I don't know, it feels really nice. So far, I'm liking it. Of course, the real test will be see how it performs. Yeah, real quick, I just found this in the bottom of the box. It looks to me perhaps some kind of tool. I don't know, maybe that's for your finger, and maybe this is to help you pull out a keycap. I'm not sure, but I thought I should show it to you. So, yeah, it looks like it has little grabbers in there. See it? So, okay. Alright, so I have the keyboard plugged into the computer, and I got the setup done. And I would just like to take this time to real quick run down the keyboard specs. So we have a key life is 50 milliamps. The current that it uses is 500 milliamps. The weight of this thing is 850 grams. That's plus or minus 20 grams. The working voltage is 5 volts, plus or minus 5%. And yeah, okay. Now for setting it up, it's really as simple as just plugging it into your USB port. As far as getting it to Windows 10 is what I'm running, it detects this thing as a gaming keyboard. So my guess is that's kind of a catch-all for gaming keyboards that don't come with their own like drivers, like Razer's probably does and whatnot. So yes, it does work. And so let's go ahead and look over the key font here. The key font, it works. It kind of has, like, for the lack of a better term, I'll just call it this kind of modern, like if you look at that A and Alt, it kind of has this, like, I guess, yeah, futuristic-y, space-ish kind of font. And it works for the most part. It's pretty clear. Up here, for example, on this, well, based on where it's placed, you can guess what that key is. It's a 0 and a parenthesis. But due to the font, how it has that split top, like, for example, there, you see that O, it can kind of sometimes look at a glance like two brackets, but once you get used to the font, it isn't too hard to figure out what key's what, especially since you're familiar where they are on the keyboard anyway. Oh yeah, just wanted to make sure I didn't forget. These are the legs or the pop-out props, and they're just one step, so they're either flat or they're up at that height. And the height is pretty good. I've been gaming for this with about for like 2 hours now, and it's comfortable hand position. So. Alright, so I thought we'd go through and look at all the different light shows that this has to show us here. Now, there are 9 different LED lighting effects, and within those modes, you can select, kind of alter them, so you can decide what color you want it to be, and all that. So let's start with the first one, which is this mode here, which is just the steady, typical gaming keyboard. But of course, you can also change the color that you want it to show. Okay, and the next mode is this here. This is the breathe, so it kind of fades in and out. Okay, next one. Now this is one of my faves because it actually has a practical use on top of looking cool. So there's 5 different button presets, and you can see only certain keys are lighting up, and they correspond to what type of game you're playing. And so to do that, you just go ahead and select, there's 5 of these. So let me switch hands real quick here. So this is, okay, one, and then the other one here. Next. And alright, so alright, now let's go to the next lighting mode. So this is your rainbow, so it just cycles through all the colors. Now this one, if I recall, yeah, so this is that trace, so it shows the last key you pushed, and it keeps illuminated for a while, so you can. Okay, next mode. Okay, so you can see it kind of looks like flowing water, and this is one of those modes where you can change that and what color it shows rippling. Okay. This is called Horse Race. Actually, I probably spent a lot longer just staring at it doing this, so it's actually quite fun. And as it goes through, every time it passes by, it lights a key a different color. So if you look at a particular key, it will be a different color next time it comes back around. So, yeah. I like that. This one's cool. Alright, moving on. Okay, this one, let me see. Oh yeah, so it's kind of like dropping a stone in the water. It kind of radiates out from wherever you push. Alright, next one. Okay, kind of similar to the other one, but instead of radiating all the way out to the edges, it just stays localized around where you pushed. So. Okay, and next one. Okay, this one is kind of like a combination of the water ripple and the rainbow. And it is pretty. Okay. Alright, and now we're back to the one we started with. So yeah, a lot of customization or a lot of different modes to play with, and again, you can also modify them within. And also, in the one here, let's go to that, this one, evidently you can modify, so like if you wanted for whatever reason like this key to glow, I think you can add it to this preset. I didn't read through the directions that thoroughly yet, but evidently that's a possibility. What I thought I'd do is give a quick demo of what it looks like and sounds like when someone's actually typing on this keyboard. Now, a lot of reviews, they just go ahead and smack the buttons to show you that they're clicky, but that's not, of course, what it sounds like when someone's actually typing. It's not just random mashing. Well, hopefully it's not random mashing if you actually know how to type. So, I'm just going to quickly type something up here, and I have it on the radiate outward with color mode, so it'll be hopefully fun to look at as well. So, without further ado, here we go. So, there you go. Alright, so I just finished a 2-hour gaming session with this keyboard, and I can say it definitely works. It actually works very well, so I'm happy with it so far. Now, this is my first experience, prolonged experience, using a mechanical keyboard. So, my take on the two big things. First, we'll talk about the clicking. I had headphones on the whole time I was gaming, so I mean, yeah, I didn't bother me any because I couldn't hear them. I was playing quite a loud game, so yeah. But I can imagine if someone else was in the room and then didn't have headphones on, they would definitely hear it. So keep that in mind. Again, these are the blue keys. Okay, now as far as the tactile sensation, I can see why people like these for gaming, because you can feel exactly the second or the fraction of a second that the key engages when the switch drops. You can definitely feel it. So I assume that would help with accuracy of hitting the key or knowing that you did in fact hit the key. So that, I like that. So far it's great. Alright, so I got about a day's worth of use on this keyboard now, and I think I have enough information to give you my take on it. Now keep in mind that's only a day's worth of use, so I can't say for sure if these keys are going to hold up to their 50 million click promise, but assuming that they do, I would definitely recommend this keyboard.